Now we're going to try to find the decimal representation of points using more than just uh, divisions of size 1/10. So let's look at point A here. Now it's really small. So I'm actually going to do this example here, the example I do. I'm going to leave the you do as an exercise for you guys. So let's look at point A. So I'm going to zoom in here. It'll be much easier to actually, before we do this, let's look at the divisions here. Now, we have multiple different divisions, and you can tell that from the size of the lines. We have, first of all, these the biggest vertical lines. Those represent whole numbers. Then the next size actually represents a step of length 1/10. So for instance, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So those next biggest lines, vertical lines, represent steps of 1/10. And if we zoom in even more, the little ones 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They represent 10 divisions of the interval of length 1/10. So they actually represent a step size of 1/100. So we have step sizes of length 1, of length 1/10, and of length 1/100. Okay, so let's look at point A. If we're going to figure out the decimal value of A, the first thing we do is we look for the closest whole number to the left. So A is right here, and to the left of A, we go this way, and that number is 1. So the whole part of A is 1. So let's just write that right now. A is equal to 1. And there's going to be a fractional part, so we put a decimal. So how do we figure out what the decimal part is? Well, again, we can look at the nearest tenth to it. So again, here is our, oh, I don't want to write that. Here is our point right here, and the nearest tenth is right here. So that tenth right here, this point represents 1.1 right there. So to figure out what A is, we just have to count how many hundredths. So we have 1. Well, actually, maybe before we do that, let's go back here, and we know that there's at least 1/10 as a fractional part, but there's a little bit more. There is a few hundredths here. So let's count how many hundredths there are from 1/10. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have to tack on 5 more 1/100ths. And let's just write that here. 5. So the point A is the number 1.15. And there's another way we could do this, is we could count how many step sizes of length 100th there are. So for instance, let's just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 step sizes of length 100th. So that is again represented by this 15 here. Okay, so the decimal representation of point A is 1.15. Let's do B. So here's B right over here. And again, to find the nearest whole number, we go to the left, and it's 1 again. So I'm just going to write out B is equal to 1 point. Now, how many tenths is it along the number line? It's 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10. Oops, I didn't want to do that. So it is 4/10. 4/10. And are there any hundredths? No. The point is exactly on the 4/10 spot. So this point here represents 1.4. And that's exactly what we have right here. Okay, so let's do the last point, C. So where is C? C is all the way over here. And we start by marking where C is, and we go to the left and look for the nearest whole number, which is 2. So the whole part of C is going to be 2. And notice that it's not a full, it doesn't have a length of at least 1/10. It's a distance that is shorter than 1/10 away from 2. So all we have to do is count the hundredths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 1/100ths. So C, let's just zoom out here. We can write C as 2. 2 was the whole part. And there were only 9 1/100ths. There were no tenths that we could write down. So there we go. There's how we can represent A, B, and C as decimals. I'm going to leave the other exercise to you. Please give it a shot, pause this video, and see if you can do it.